Does the name Colby Ryan sound familiar to you? Well, it should. Colby Ryan is the only surviving child of Lori Vallow, the oldest and, well, the surviving child of Lori Vallow. Lori Vallow, the doomsday mother, who is currently awaiting trial in Idaho for killing his two siblings, his baby brother, JJ, and his sister, Tylee. She's also waiting, murder charges for Tammy Daybell, but Colby Ryan is what we're here to talk about today. What should we remember about Colby Ryan, besides he's the sole surviving child of Lori Vallow? Well, in 2022, Colby Ryan made headlines in the news himself. He was arrested on rape charges. But there's way more to this story than we ever knew existed before. And let's go ahead and jump right into it today. The allegations against Colby Ryan from September of 2022 for one count of rape sounded completely plausible. There was the omission, so reportedly said by Colby Ryan that he admitted to the actual rape. 2, there was a known history of a relationship between the victim and Colby. 3, the DA said that there was so much information and actual evidence that the crime existed, they were looking at adding additional charges in the case. But we didn't know who the victim was. Because a lot of different jurisdictions across America never released the name of the alleged victim in a case, we didn't know. That was just the information that they gave us. Based on that, myself and so many others out there reported on it and believed, even after 11 days after his arrest and the initial charges were filed against him, they dropped the charges on the 11th day and then just pretended as if it never happened. But we all wondered and dug into it and tried to find a reason why they would drop the charges. Who is this alleged victim? The alleged victim's name has been scrubbed. It is blacked out, even from the official records from this. But there's more to it than we were ever led to believe. We now know the alleged victim's identity. I'm not going to use it in this video, nor will I ever use the name of an alleged rape victim or sexual assault victim in any video. But we know who the alleged victim is now. It was none other than Colby Ryan's estranged wife. His wife was the one who swore out the statement against him of rape. Now, let's talk about the circumstances, now that we know a little bit more about it. Colby Ryan and his wife were split at the time and working on their marriage, going to counseling at the time of this accusation. She had invited Colby Ryan over to her place where she was living by herself and to have dinner, watch movies, and that was it. That is as far as the two of them actually can agree upon. The children were residing with Colby himself at his residency. So she had moved out of the family home to a separate apartment. And she did have visitation, and she had the children over for certain weekends. So she was living by herself, but she did have the children over on the weekends. So that was where they agreed. That it was dinner, there was supposed to be a movie, and that was it. But then things kind of turned different. They both agree also that they had a consensual sexual relationship initially. But she says that he was aggressive, and I'm using air quotes here because this is in her statement. He became aggressive, and when she said no, he did not stop. It wasn't until the next morning, after this evening, when he is sitting around and they're having coffee, they got into an argument. And then she decided to go to the police and report him for rape. And before you question it, please, for the love of God, understand that rape can happen in a marriage. It can happen in a dating situation. They happen all the time. And you cannot look at it and say, well, you can't rape your spouse. That is so old school and so wrong. She swore out a statement against him for rape. The police went to Colby's home and started to ask him about what had transpired, and said that they needed him to come down to the station to fill out a formal statement of what had actually taken place. While there, Colby never asked for an attorney. He never asked anything more than what do you think happened. He started to write out his statement when one of the detectives started to browbeat him. We now know this from the actual documentation of what took place. Started to browbeat him, question him over and over again, and that is where the omission comes from when it comes to Colby admitting that he actually may have raped someone. He said, if she, and this is in quotes, if she believes that it was not consensual and she was forced to have intercourse, it would be rape. He was speaking in a hypothetical situation, and they took it as, we got you. That's an omission, that he committed rape against his estranged wife. The evidence, the statement from the victim, the alleged victim, Colby's statement, the information from detectives, on what they may have found at the scene and anything else in their notes, all that went to the DA. The DA read only the initial statement by his estranged wife. They filed charges, and again, 11 days later, they dropped all the charges, saying that they may revisit them if, those charges, if they come up with additional information. His estranged wife recanted the entire statement that she made to the police within that 11-day period. And this is why they dropped the charges against Colby Ryan. That is where the charges are now. Since all of this came out and the charges were dropped, Colby Ryan and the Ryan family, that is the name of their YouTube channel, has not uploaded any content since then. He has also stopped posting to all other social media, and she has stopped posting to all social media. I do believe at this point they are still working on their estranged relationship, and it has to be hard for them both at this point. I'm not picking blame. I'm not saying that she was right or he was right. In this relationship, we are not there. But something transpired where she thought, it was the right thing to do to go to the police. Maybe he really did go beyond no means no. We don't know. We can sit here on the outside and judge what we know from the inside, but only by what is in the actual documentation right now. That is where Colby Ryan is right now. Him and his wife, I presume, are still working on their relationship in Arizona. And his mother's trial is still ongoing and has no point in the future does it look like it'll actually come to an end. So thank you for joining me today. You have a terrific week ahead.